everyone. Today we're in Phoenix Journal number 27, and we're going to be going over the introduction of the 12 most deadly sins of human, recognizing and defining them. We are your hosts, Sananda, Lord Michael, Germain, and Deruthia, in service to the truth and wisdom which is only of the holy light of God Aton and the creation. We come from the cosmic council of the light of God Aton, the one within all, to bring to you, our brethren, the truth, that you too may join in the joy of oneness, the lighted brotherhood, within God's holy kingdom of light, truth, beauty, and wisdom. First, we would like to give careful clarification of our use of terms to represent God or Aton. You will find that we often say Father within or refer to Aton as he, signaling male gender. This way, we term our Creator in your language. Is not meant as a sexual gender, as you recognize same. Our Creator God, Aton, represents both male and female principles, if you will. There is no sexual gender differential. The spirit of life is what you may understand in limited language, male and female in energy representation, as are all of you and all of us. You each have chosen a body, male or female. For your experience, only both energies are represented within each of you. Also, you will find examples used in which we will say he, which we mean as a general human term for humanity, not specific sexual gender. This we explain so that the ones who are in female physical form do not feel slighted or that we honor them less. And so also, ones in male physical form do not feel more or less than equal to female humans. All fragments of Creator or creation are equal in reflection regardless of what color or gender of physical form is taken. In your own minds, if you prefer to call and refer to God Aton creation as mother or father, Creator creation, then so be it. Now, we would like to bring light and understanding unto that question all of you have struggled with, and that is, what is evil? But before you can have understanding of what is evil, we must help you to understand what is God. Since the laws of God and creation given forth have described God as the ruler of the human races and the king of wisdom, then this in itself implies that God is a great being of spiritual wisdom and perfection within the creation. But to confine what God is to limits of third-dimensional human language and perception alone is a mistake. Because of the limited boundaries of your plane, you have not yet developed the capability of defining a limitless being or state of being. Since our God Creator has created us, what this means is that He has fragmented Himself as the creation fragmented itself in the creation of God in order to expand and experience more of the totality of the One. This is why God's laws, the laws of nature, the laws of balance, and the laws of the creation all exist as the same universal laws of cohesive harmony and oneness. Universal laws are the cosmic codes of unlimited creative unfoldment, which allows the greatest degree of expansion and of expression of the totality of all that is. Each fragment exists as a part of Creator God, and thus as a part of the creation as well. The cosmic codes, or laws, are the keys of logic which maintain the balanced coalescence of creative unfolding, expansion of the one all that is. So by learning to recognize that which limits your expanding creative potential, you will identify that which keeps you bound to your illusion of separation from the One. And by gaining the wisdom of knowledge of what is evil, sin, and adversary to God and creation, you will then be able to wisely move your awareness to what your to what is your personal responsibility in the co-creation of the love of life, which is the joy of wholeness and oneness of the limitless creation. So then now, what is evil? Evil is also called Satan, or adversary, is all thought and the energy it creates, which is allowed or is chosen through free will to exist, which confines and limits the expansion and expression of creative unfoldment of the totality of oneness. It is that which swims against the flow of cosmic creation in order to feel itself in separation and thus exists only within boundaries or limits of the whole. It is self-consuming in that it seeks to dominate the whole, and because it can only dominate within its own self-imposed boundaries, it finally is consumed itself by the rushing waters of the expanding one. Now many ones in their exuberance of finally grasping the concept that all is one will oftentimes believe that they must now be all allowing, since all are choosing experience as part of the one. We will hear one say things such as, there is no good and bad, all is just experience, it just is. Therefore, how can I judge something, such as a behavior or action, to be bad or good for another, when it is not my experience or right to judge another? What we say to this is, you can allow yourselves into perpetuity, but if you do not recognize those thoughts, words, and deeds which are contrary to this life and godness, how do you think you will reach his unlimited kingdom of conscious immortality? Does this mean that by recognizing the Antichrist or adversaries, that you must take yourself the enforcer of God's laws? Must make yourself the enforcer of God's laws? Not at all. God needs no enforcers. He needs only examples be set forth so that one can see a brighter and balanced and more loving way of being. Each must begin that journey within self, and as each ignites his flame of truth and godly understanding, so too will he choose to change his thinking, behavior, and actions in order to be in balance with God and oneness. This does not mean that you will allow others to maliciously cause you harm. You must always honor self and God and defend yourself if necessary to protect yourself from abuse or damage by another. You do not have to choose victimhood ever, and you must not tolerate or allow behavior directed against you or your brethren which you know is contrary to the laws of God and creation. Do you see what your gift of free will is, dear ones? It is through your experiences of learning what God is not that you will therefore know what God is. We have observed, as many ones will say smugly, but God created everything, including evil, so it just is a part of our experience. Remember this carefully. God Aton created human in his image of perfection. He gave you free will, and with your free will, you have chosen to be the adversary and break every law of balance. So don't any of you ever think you can shirk your personal responsibility because you believe God created evil. Man created evil with his own free will, and with the divine mercy of his creator, Aton, he will find his way back to godly balance, or he will continue to remain bound in his dark cage of self-service and separation from the creative spirit of life. You see, friends, your free will is really your choice to make your will God's will, or to live according to the will of your altered ego, which seeks always to limit your spiritual understanding and therefore to disrupt and destroy your creative potential, harmony, and balance of oneness. Ultimately, you will recognize that the only free will you have is that which is God's will, because you will have gained the wisdom and of knowing that the logical balance of God's way is really the only way to the joy of truly balanced spiritual freedom. Now, we will be defining and discussing what are the deadliest sins or errors made in your experience which keep you swimming upstream against the flow of balance of the cosmic creative unfoldment. These sins are the tools of Satan or the adversary to keep you bound in your illusion of separation from God and the creation. Also, if you are kept under this dominance through the ignorance of false belief and superstition of a false power, which keeps you locked within the spiritual starvation of limited manifested reality. And now we're going to be getting into all of the deadly sins.